Hey guys, I'm Tammy and welcome back to my channel. Today is a day and my book is finally here. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that So Simple is my first sewing book and it's launched today, Thursday, 12th of June, and you can find it on Amazon and different online retailers. I'll leave a link down below in the description box so you can get your hands on this. I am just so ecstatic that the book is finally released, and honestly it makes such a great beginner friendly book for you to use. So I thought I'd take you through a bit of a flick through of the entire book so you can see exactly what you get inside and what the 15 patterns included look like. If you're new around here, I'm Tammy and I have my own sewing pattern company called Tammy Handmade, and I have a whole range of beginner friendly and size inclusive sewing patterns on my website. So when I had the opportunity to finally write my first book, I was like, yes please, this is literally a dream come true. So whether you're a complete beginner and you've never sewn anything before, this is going to be your perfect guide. If you are someone that already knows how to sew and you feel confident in your abilities, the patterns in this book that I've created you are going to absolutely love. So in the first couple of pages in this book, there's a QR code that you can use to access the patterns inside the book. So the patterns come in A4, US letter and A0 for you to print out. They're also layered so you can print out the sizes you want to use, but you can just see how much content and amazing patterns are inside this book. I have the contents page right here so you can see exactly what's included. So we have a whole section in the front part of this book that's about how to use this book, the tools you'll need to use for sewing, terms and techniques, how to pick your fabric, how to measure your body and pick a size, how you can go ahead and use digital sewing patterns if you've never used them before, how to print and assemble digital sewing patterns, again if you've never printed them before, how to grade patterns and how to do basic pattern adjustments depending if you're taller or shorter or you have a full bust or a small bust. All that sort of stuff is included in this book. How to cut out fabric correctly and also what fabrics you should use for the patterns within this book. Even little tips and techniques I personally like to use if you've sewn something and it really doesn't capture what you wanted to do. So quick fixes you can do to make sure it really envisions what you want to make. And then we also have a whole section around core sewing techniques. So things like how to sew a seam, how to finish a seam, common sewing problems, how to sew buttons and add pockets to any pattern, how to shear fabric, how to gather fabric, how to attach knit binding, how to sew straps, how to sew darts and how to sew a side slit. So lots of key sewing techniques you'll want to know how to do to make the patterns in this book. But for example, the core sewing techniques, each page has a whole description on what to do for that specific technique, but also pictures that go alongside it that show you exactly how to do each step. And then we've got the patterns that come within this book. So you can see right here a collection of all the patterns that are included in this book. So we've got a scrunchie, a tote bag, a maxi skirt, another tote bag with a really fun strap detail, sheer dress and top, camisole top and dress, button back top, halter neck dress and top, tie front top, beach cover up that comes in 2 lengths, cutout dress, midi skirt that's stretchy, drawstring trousers and shorts, tank top and also a button front dress. So there is so many products you get included within this book, and the whole process of making the patterns, I wanted to make sure that you can basically mix and match them within your wardrobe and effectively have a whole handmade wardrobe that you can create with just one book. So if I just open a random page in this book, you can see this is what the pattern page looks like. So if I just bring it over, you can see we've got the front page of what the pattern looks like, and then also a page right next to it that shows the yardage and fabric you need to make this pattern. Hopefully you can see here that the size chart of all the patterns come in sizes 6 all the way to size 32. So that is a max bust of 57 inches, 50 inches waist and 60-inch hip. It's honestly so important to me to make sure that I included size inclusive patterns, so I'm just really glad to be able to create such a good versatile book for beginners and intermediates to use. So that was the front page of the pattern. Here for example we've got the next page which shows the finished garment measurements in both metric and imperial, and then also the layout that you want to cut your fabric and pattern out of. And then if you've watched any of my other videos where I talk about this book, you would know that one of my biggest pet peeves of other beginner-friendly sewing books is that they don't illustrate each step in the instructions. So I make sure in my patterns, in this book, each step has a written instruction alongside an illustrated step. So there's no guesswork as you're doing each step. It's really clearly detailed exactly what the step should look like. And that literally runs throughout the book in all the patterns inside it. So if I just give you a close-up of the inside page, so this is the scrunchie, the tie front tote bag. This is such a fun project to sew. The woven maxi skirt, this one right here with a really fun slide slit detail that you can sew as well. The trendy tote bag right here has a really fun contrast strap detail, and this makes such a fun project to sew, especially if you don't want to go ahead and start sewing clothes. You want to start sewing accessories first. We've got the sheared dress and top. So this pattern comes in the dress version like this, but it also comes in a top version for you to sew. And then we've got the camisole top, which is this one right here. So it comes in a top version. And then also, just to show you, it also comes in the dress version right here. That's what the other model wears it and it looks like. And then we also have the button back top, which was such a fun pattern to create. Basically has a really nice side buster on the front, and then the back has this really nice closure. And then we also have the halter neck dress and a top version, and then how the dress looks like on me in a jersey as well. And then we've also got the tie front top right here. This was such a fun pattern to create. I actually wore this on holiday not that long ago, and it's such a fun pattern to sew but also wear on holiday. So we've got her wearing it right here. The back of this I actually really love. I purposely made sure the back was nice and covered, so it gave a nice contrast for the front being a bit more open. And then we've got the summer kind of jacket cover up. So this is the longer version and it fits really nicely on. And then the shorter version of the cover up, I included a tie detail at the front because it makes such a nice kind of summery outfit to wear on the beach. And also I like having the tie closure so it doesn't kind of flap about in the wind. And then one of my favorite patterns that I absolutely love making is this one right here. It's a cutout dress. So it's a really fun and trendy pattern, and you can see it's got that cutout detail at the front, and then the back is elasticated, and you can see it kind of ends there and there. And then we've also got the stretch midi skirt. So this model in this image is actually wearing the top version and the midi skirt. So it's like a co-ord set that you can wear and wear with different pieces. And then we've also got the drawstring trousers right here. It's such a fun pattern to sew. It's got cargo pockets as well on the side right here. So you've got the trouser option as well as the shorts option as well. So you can sew either one. And then we've got a knit tank top that you can wear as well. She's actually wearing it with a midi skirt as well. And then the wild card pattern that I included in this book is this one right here. It's definitely a much more advanced pattern to sew, but it's a button front dress and this fits like a glove. I absolutely love this pattern. So you can see it's got the button front detail at the front, and then here you can see what the back looks like as well. And hopefully you can just see through the entire book just how many patterns are included in this one single book. There's 15 patterns and then 5 variations to make it the style that you want to sew. This was such a labor of love to make this book. Honestly, I'm so excited that it's finally here. So again, if you want to grab a copy, I'll leave a link down below on where you can find it. You can find it on Amazon and lots of different online retailers. It's available worldwide and I'm so excited to get your hands on this. If you already have a copy, definitely let me know down in the comments and what pattern you're thinking to make as your first project. I honestly just feel so proud that this is finally here. It's something I've been working a whole year on, and to know it's finally here for you to sew and play with, I am just so happy. I also just wanted to say, if you're watching this video and you've been a pattern tester that helped me test these sewing patterns, I can't thank you enough. It was such a fun process to work with people that have already tested my previous sewing patterns and getting them to sew the patterns in this book. It felt like such a full circle moment. So many of them were like, I can't believe you're finally releasing your first book. So again, there were so many of you that helped test the patterns in this book to make sure they work on a variety of bodies, and I just want to say thank you so much for all your hard work. But once you have this book and you sew the patterns inside it, please tag me on Instagram. You can tag me at tammy.handmade, or you can use the hashtag #SewSimpleBook, and that will just make sure all the patterns that people sew are in one place so we can all have a look for inspiration. I'm so excited, honestly, and I just want to say thank you so much for all your support. Honestly, I just can't believe this day has finally come, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.